Hello and welcome to another anime dub review. Oh, are you wondering why I'm using this funny voice? Oh, I'm just doing my Dan Green imitation. Now, as you can probably guess, the reason I'm doing that Dan Green imitation is because today's review will be for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, or as it's known in America as Yu-Gi-Oh! Which, as far as the dub goes, it's basically dubbed by 4Kids. So, expect a pretty rotten review. Anyways, let's start. Question 1. Is the opening left intact or dubbed in English? You gotta be kidding me. Originally, we get these nice J-pop songs for openers and enders. Then the dub, we get some synthesized music that's supposed to sound like Egyptian instrumental crap. So, no. 2. Is the background music left intact? Just like any other 4Kids dub? No! 3. Free of sloppy or unnecessary edits? You're kidding, right? Can you say invisible guns? Yeah, the answer for that is no. Number 4. Free of heavy Americanization? You know, I wish I could give them that. And in truth, I will admit, Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have much Japanese content in it, but they do indeed Americanize it. I mean, come on, look at the way they edit the cards. Can't even allow Japanese text on the cards. Come on. No. 5. Uncut version available to the public in some way. You know, it's funny, I'm looking right at 2 of the 3 DVDs I own that are of the Yu-Gi-Oh! DVDs they released. When I say the 3 DVDs, those are the only ones they released. 9 episodes total. That's not quite good enough. They need to release the entire series uncut. It's obvious they're not going to continue, so I can't give them this one. No. 6. Good voices? Okay, you're probably going to hate me for saying this, but the voices suck. That's right. All the voices are pretty crappy. Let's be honest. Does anyone want to hear a Brooklyn accent, a British accent, and, well, a super gruff and obnoxious voice for Yugi? Yes, that's right, I'm criticizing Dan Green. I know I'm gonna get lots of angry responses for saying that about Dan Green, but yes, I don't like his Yugi voice. It's fine at other characters in other animes, but I just don't like his Yugi voice. It doesn't fit. And his, Yami voice also isn't that great. Way too gruff for my taste. So I'm afraid I can't give you this one. No. But I do have a bonus. At the end of this review, I will actually give you an idea of what I think should be the cast using Funimation actors. Why Funimation? Because when it comes to voice acting, Funimation is king. So I will be telling you who I think should voice the characters if Funimation was dubbing it. Anyways, moving on. Number 7. Script handled well and free of obnoxious jokes edited in, excessively bad translations, and otherwise unwanted rewrites. Check his pulse, Joey! What a digital dummy. But that aside, fact of the matter is that it is not free of these things. In fact, they pretty much completely rewrote Merrick's character completely. Originally, he was just a villain who wanted revenge because the Pharaoh basically killed his father. The dub, he wants world domination. Cliched much. So no, I can't give them this one. 8. All episodes dubbed, aired, and released to the public so far. No episodes skipped, merged, or otherwise missing. Okay, this one is kind of controversial to say, but I do not feel like giving them this one because they skipped an entire season. And I know it's a different studio, it was Toei. I know, don't give me that, because look, this series was basically the same characters, and in truth, they didn't show this season at all, and they pretty much tried to deny it as much as they can. Was it because of the bad animation? No. Was it because of the different visuals? No. Why did they skip this season? Because it was violent. Whoop-de-doo. Violence. That's their excuses. They couldn't even release on DVD. So I'm not gonna give them this one. No. Number 9, free of name changes. Are you kidding? They pretty much change almost everyone's name except maybe Yugi, Bakura, and Kaiba. Okay, and Mokuba. Other than that, everyone else gets their names changed. I mean, come on, we get Jonochi as Joey, Honda is Tristan, and Anzu is Taya. Then for Mai, her last name was Kujaku, or whatever it was. Now they changed it to Valentine, just to make a stupid pun, nonetheless. So I cannot give them this one. No. Number 10, overall, is it watchable? Well, technically it did get a lot of undeserving success, because after Pokemon was losing its touch, Yu-Gi-Oh! Came in and became the next cash cow for those bastards at 4Kids. However, it was not watchable. It was unenjoyable to anyone who watches the original first. No! So, how many points have they gotten in this one? Let's see! Oh, look at that! 0! Because 4Kids can't dub anything right. Except maybe Pokemon, which even that didn't do that well. So yes, a 0 out of 10. You are failures, 4Kids. And quite honestly, before One Piece started screwing up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was basically their worst dub on TV. In fact, even when One Piece was starting off, I still said Yu-Gi-Oh! Was worse, until the point where One Piece started merging episodes and skipping stuff. Then One Piece kind of took over as the worst dub. However, seeing as One Piece has been saved by Funimation, that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! The worst dub again, I guess. Sort of. Though they've had other dubs too, so... But nonetheless, they are still the worst dub. So there you go. Now, as promised, here is my ideal cast using the Funimation actors. First up, for Yugi and Yami's voices, I'm thinking in mind Aaron Dismuke. And yes, I know, his voice has changed and he's no longer sounding like Alphonse. And here's what I have in mind. Basically, for his current voice, that would be the right voice for Yami. And his mature, after puberty voice, basically. While as for younger Yugi, I'm thinking we can just get Maxie Whitehead to voice him, since she's basically pretty good at imitating Aaron anyways. So that's for Yugi and Yami, Aaron and Maxie. Next, for Anzu, or as they call her in the dub, Taya, I have actually several good choices. However, and you could also use these for Mai, doesn't really matter. Anyways, choices for Anzu are Laura Bailey, Monica Rael, Brianna Palencia, or Caitlin Glass. Naturally, there's plenty of other choices too, I'm sure. But those are the ones that come in mind. That would be for Anzu. Next, we got Jonochi, or as they call him in the dub, Joey Wheeler. Who do I have in mind for him? How about good old Chris Sabat, using his Kuwabara voice. Why Chris Sabat? Because let's face it, Funimation dubs have to have Chris Sabat as a main character. Pretty much mandatory. If you can find a dub that doesn't have him as a main character, then you win $1 million. Not really, but nonetheless. Basically, he's in every anime Funimation has dubbed. So why not put him to good use and have him voice Jonochi? Next, we got Hiroto Honda, or as they called him in the dub, Tristan Taylor. Who do I have in mind for him? Well, how about Justin Cook? He's pretty good at playing bad boy teenagers. So yeah, Justin Cook. And next we got Kaiba, known in the dub as Kaiba. Who do I have in mind for him? I think a good old Chuck Huber would be a good choice for him. Why Chuck Huber? Because he's pretty good at playing the characters that are emotionless and harsh, I guess you could say. So yeah, Chuck Huber for Kaiba. And next, we got Bakura. And no, I'm not going to recommend a British accent for him. Instead, I'm going to recommend the good old John Bergmeyer. He's pretty good at doing these types of voices. I'm thinking his Kurama voice would be appropriate. Kind of funny that for Jonochi, Honda, Kaiba, and Bakura, I'm basically choosing the main characters of Yu Yu Hakusho, the other Yu. But yes, these are the ones I have in mind for this one. Next, for Pegasus. First choice I have in mind is Barry Yandel. Yes, the voice of Mr. 2 in One Piece. Why him? Well, look, I know you're gonna say, oh, you're just trying to have him be gay like in 4Kids dub. First off, I gotta point out this. For whatever reason, the Japanese version did the same thing of giving him an even gayer voice than the 4Kids dub did, actually. I don't care why they did it, considering the fact that he's clearly straight. But yes, he originally had a really gay voice. So I figure, why not do it appropriately? But, since I'm sure you probably won't like that choice, I have an alternative option for Pegasus that I think would also be appropriate. And yeah, you might not agree, but whatever. My option is Travis Willingham. Why have him play Pegasus, you ask? Because there aren't any duelists who use fire-type monsters. Yes, I said it. Travis is best for playing fire types. And finally, we got Merrick. Who should voice Merrick, you ask? How about good old Vic Mignogna? Yep, Vic Mignogna as Merrick. Oh yeah, and for Mai, and just have whoever you don't choose for Anzu. That would be appropriate. Or maybe Colleen Clickenbeard. She might be good. And that's all the options I have available. You can think of any others, or if you'd like to suggest your own, feel free to leave a comment. But until next time, see ya.